She became the first artist in history to claim every slot in the top 10 of the US singles chart. She's broken all the records, including the most streams of a single album in one day. She's being called an economic phenomenon because her Eras tour could gross $2 billion, surpassing the previous record by $1 billion. And her film just did $100 million in pre-ticket sales alone. But more shocking than the numbers is that people are blacking out at her shows. They're having mystical experiences and peeing in diapers to avoid getting out of line. So how the heck did Taylor Swift enter the stratosphere on this level? And why her? Why now? It might feel like she has some kind of exceptional talent, superhuman ability, insane work ethic, or maybe just crazy luck, but she doesn't. What you don't remember or never knew in the first place is that before she could generate the GDP of a small country, she faced the same 5 obstacles we all face in our career. Her opportunities were controlled by others with more power, limiting her ability to make her own choices. She was pigeonholed and stuck in her country music niche because people judged her by her past rather than her potential, making it very difficult to move in a new direction. She was limited by her skills, network, and available opportunities, and therefore wasn't expanded into her full creative potential. She struggled to gain respect or credibility outside her niche, even though she'd achieved impressive results and recognition, and therefore she couldn't access the best collaborators. She wasn't totally fulfilled, even though she had topped the charts and won all the awards in country music, because her work wasn't creating an impact beyond herself. Do any of those sound familiar? That's because most of us will face all of those obstacles at some point in our career. So how does she go from being pigeonholed and stuck as a country music singer, not at all respected by the mainstream music industry, to suddenly being the highest grossing pop artist of all time with not only the respect of the mainstream music industry, but of the general public? Well, it was never a given that she would break through the 5 obstacles to expand into what she is now. In fact, it took her 25 years. 25. Because just like you and I, she had to move through 3 predictable career cycles, overcoming specific obstacles in each to access her genius and expand into her full potential. And the way she navigated those cycles will teach you everything you need to know about navigating your own career and accessing your own genius. But let's be clear, studying her path isn't about learning how to become the greatest of all time. That's her role, not ours. Instead, it's about understanding how to navigate the predictable cycles of career development so you can trigger the emergence of your genius and play your role in the world. Because if you see any genius in her, that's because you feel genius in you. What you admire or respect in her is what you feel or know is in you, not in terms of specific skill or level of creative talent or scale of impact. Instead, what you feel in you is something more expansive than what you're currently expressing in the world. And if you have way more potential within than is being used, like she did in the beginning, you will feel a deep yearning to expand into that potential, but you might not know how to move forward. So stick with me, because I'm gonna show you how Taylor Swift inadvertently left us the greatest Easter egg of all time when she created a blueprint for overcoming the 5 core career obstacles and mirrored it back to us. And when you understand this blueprint, you will know how to achieve the 5 core elements of career bliss, which is what you see her living and breathing now. Autonomy, or the freedom over your career choices. Adaptability, or the ability to move, shift, change, and expand in new directions seamlessly. Creative ecstasy, or the feeling of aliveness you get when you've accessed your genius. Interdependence, or the exponential power you access when you're collaborating with those who complement and expand you. And transcendence, or the ability to expand beyond yourself and impact something meaningful. Do any of those sound enticing? That's because most of us desire one or all of those 5 elements of career bliss, but don't know how to access them. When we see an icon take off into the stratosphere, it feels like they have an exceptional talent well beyond what's possible for us. But what I want you to understand is that before Elon could make a rocket, and before Oprah could crush a commencement speech, and before Taylor could generate the GDP of a small country, they felt stuck or limited by their situation and deeply desired expansion, because all icons and all people must move through the same cycles of career development to overcome the 5 obstacles and expand into the 5 elements of career bliss. So let's break down the 3 cycles so you can finally understand why her, why now, why are people peeing in diapers. We'll start with phase 1.